All right, Shalom, Yashala. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash for giving me the spirit and the time to do this lesson. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, great millstone, who I learned this truth from. They are the real prophets and the leaders of all Israel in these end times. Shalom to you Israelites on the highways and hedges, giving up your body as a living sacrifice, and shalom to you Israelite sisters, you Akwaf, that are in order and doing what you're supposed to do to be a virtuous woman. All right, we need virtuous women in this world, man. So shalom to you. Shalom to you Israelites scattered abroad and may look like these other nations, but your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom. All right, this is just a quick one. I'm on the plantation, and I got a quick minute to bring this out. Now, this is a lesson that I've had on the back burner for a bit, and now it just seems like a fitting time to bring it out because it's really not a long lesson, just a quick one, you know. Just want to say, man, you know, it's important that us as Israelite men, we grow our beards, okay? Because, you know, for one, it's the law, and for two, you know what I mean? It's a sign of manly dignity, like you see right here in this image, right? You know, you look way less of a man without a beard. You know what I mean? You look like a little puny, little wimpy little boy when you shave your beard off. You know, it makes a really, really big difference. And you know, I'm gonna bring out a clip or two in this lesson just to kind of show you, you know, the difference between having a beard and not having a beard, man. Because it makes a huge difference, you know? Ain't no man supposed to be walking around this earth with no baby face unless you're not able to grow a beard, because there are, you know, the few out there that don't grow a beard quite as good as other brothers. So, you know, that's excusable. But, you know, and if you're a firefighter or something like that in this captivity, then, you know what I mean? I think it's a requirement that you shave your beard so that mask fits snug across your face and stuff like that. So, you know, there are exceptions to the rule, man. You know, you got to do what you got to do to survive and get by in this captivity, man. Put bread on the table. You know what I mean? That's why we always stress the fact that we're not saved by the law, because no one can keep it perfectly in this captivity. But if you can grow your beard, man, grow your beard. It doesn't mean you have to grow it down to your knees. You know what I mean? You ain't got to do all that. But you must have some hair on your face, man. Because you know, for one, a man is supposed to do that. That's why you know, men grow beards. Is because it was meant for us to have a beard. So just grow your beard, man. You see in this image right here, it says a beard is a badge of manly dignity. And it is, you know. And down below it says beard, a badge of manly dignity. It says, as a sign of mourning, it was cut the custom to pluck it out or cut it off. Okay, so as a sign of mourning, it was a custom to pluck it out or cut it off, right? So this is what people did when they would mourn. You know, it's one of the signs of mourning. They would shave their beards, shave their heads and stuff like that, right? So it says the Israelites were forbidden to shave off the corners of their beards. And it's not talking about were forbidden. It still are forbidden, okay? Don't let that trip you up. It's not an old custom. It's not an Old Testament thing. You know, the law still stands. All right, even to this day, regardless of what these Christians like try and tell you, you know. Right, so that's that. All right, I got a clip I want to play. In fact, I'll bring out a preset first, and then I'm gonna play a clip or two. All right, check this out. So this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, starting at verse 1, pointers in verse 2. It says, "Hear ye the word of Yahweh. Hear ye the word which Yahweh speaketh unto you, O house of Israel," right? So this is speaking to the children of Israel, because the children of Israel is the only people that the Lord is dealing with. That's why you always hear him directing his messages, you know, and his laws and stuff to the children of Israel. It says, "Thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen." Because, you know, that's the point right there. Because The heathen are the ones that go around shaving their face, you know, putting on a suit and tie to sit in the office with their Starbucks coffee and all that, man. You know, that's their custom. They always want you to adapt to their ways, man. The scriptures speak about why trimmest thou thy ways to seek love. Therefore have thou shown the wicked ones thy ways, you know, roughly paraphrasing. But don't trim your ways to show love to these heathen and make them feel comfortable, man. You know, it's our custom to grow a beard, man. So grow your beard. Who cares about your little office job? Just have a beard like a man, all right? Because your office job is not your actual life, man. That's just putting bread on the table. So if it don't get you sacked, then just grow your beard. And even if they do, man, find another job. You know what I mean? That's what I would do anyway. But, so it says, thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen. So don't shave your beard, man. Grow your beard. It says, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. So the point being, you know, don't learn the way of the heathen, right? Now, I'm going to show you an image, right? Because you got this guy named DDG, I think his name is, some rapper. Check this out. Yeah, this is DDG. And as you can see, there's an image on the left of him with a beard. And he ain't even got that much of facial hair. But look at the difference just that little bit, trimming that little bit of facial hair off makes. You know, he's got quite a baby face even, you know, but on the left. But now, look at him on the right. He looks like a straight up woman, man. You know? This is a moment where he said, I cut it off, F it. Right? And apparently he regretted it after this. You know? Some people saying it was photoshopped. But either way, man, even if it wasn't photoshopped, I mean, you can see right here what he looks like with no beard, man. It looks absolutely ridiculous. You know, he went from a man to a little boy, you know, girl at that. He looks like a girl, man. He looks like a stud. one of them carpet bunches. But you know, the point is, man, even if you've only got a little bit of facial hair, man, look at the difference, you know, because he ain't got a full-on beard, but just shaving that little bit of scruffiness he's got off made him look terrible, you know. So just don't do it, man. All right, you know, the scriptures say we shouldn't. And let me quickly pull up what I'm talking about in the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 27. It says, ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shall thou mar the corners of thy beard. So don't, all getting these clean edge ups, right? You know, we were all guilty. I'm sure we were all guilty of that when we was in the world, because we knew no better. We did it in ignorance. But now that we know better, we do better, right? So what we're not supposed to do is get these edge ups like IUIC and Sakari. You know, they do what they want to do because they still belong to Babylon, man. You know, they want to mix the world with the truth, right? The ways of the world with the truth, and it don't work like that, man. Pick a side. You know what I mean? But you're not supposed to edge up your heads, right? That's rounding the corners of your heads. Neither shall thou mar the corners of thy beard. You know what I mean? Basically, don't cut your beard off, man. It's okay to trim it down a little bit, you know, because we gotta maintain ourselves and, you know, look somewhat presentable. You don't want to be out here looking homeless, but at the same time, you don't want to have no beard. So it says, don't mar the corners of thy beard, meaning don't cut it off and don't be edging it up, making it all sharp, crispy, right? So, you know, like I said, I don't want to make this lesson too long. I'm going to play you a clip right now, showing you more images of the difference between, you know, having a beard and not, man, because it makes a huge difference. Check this out.
Here we go. Let's try it out. This is my face. I know it's not great with the beard, but That's what we're working with, okay? So let's go right on over here, and oh my god!
There's no way that this is going to go well for me. Oh my god. I'm not even 12, I'm 2, I'm a toddler. I feel like I need a restraining order from myself.
And for me, it does, because what the f is that?
I need about $1 million to shave it because of this. Yeah, that's absolutely despicable.
Jesus. How you doing? Not good. What do you want to do? Rotate. Take care. I don't got nothing to brush. This is unbelievable. What am I doing to myself? Jesus. I'll be here all day. How are you, sir? Oh, I'm good.
That guy looked through, man. He had no chin or no neck. But you see the difference, man. Even though some of them only had a little bit of facial hair, but the difference was unbelievable, man. It may have knocked some years off their life, but it ain't all about that, man. It made them look like wimpy little kids. You know what I mean? So, a lot of us were rocking no beard in the past in ignorance, shaving it off and all that. But, now we know better, we do better, right? But, our people, because it's a law for our people not to shave our beards off, because another reason is because we get razor bumps, man. Check these images out, right? So, as you see right here, the guy's shaving his beard, right? But see, these heathen, especially people that don't have melanin, they don't get razor bumps like we do, man. They may get razor bumps on a small level, but it doesn't scar like it does our people. Check out this image right here, man. Big bumps, ingrown hairs. I see it a lot. I'm a barber, man. But, as a barber, you can't really, these people, they do what they want to do. You can't really persuade them not to shave, even though I've been told them that we're not supposed to, and that we're the only ones that get razor bumps. You know what I mean? But, they gonna do what they do, man. They've been warned, and hey, the blood's off my hands. But at the same time, you know what I mean? This is what happens when our people shave too close to the skin, man. This is why the Lord says we ain't supposed to do it. He's only protecting us. The Lord said that our bodies basically aren't designed like them, is what he's basically saying. You know what I mean? Because this is what happens to us. It doesn't happen to them like that. It's disgusting, man. You know what I mean? I bet man gets no gal. Ain't no girl gonna want to be kissing him on the cheek. Probably not even his own children. Who would want to kiss him on the cheek, man? Our girl gonna lips up your neck like that? She goes to put a hickey on your neck, and then she sees that. She's like, oh, never mind. Sucking on that. Oh, man. Jokes, man. But, all jokes aside, this is what you're going to look like if you put that razor to your skin, man. Because you ain't supposed to be doing it. That's why this happens to us, man. Because it's a law for our people not to do that. These other nations, they don't get bumps like that, man. All right? Check out this quick clip, because if our people get in these skin fades too, you can get a fade, but just not too close to the skin. You know what I mean? If you're using a razor or an electric shaver, then this is what you can expect. This is what's going to happen to you, man. Absolutely disgusting. You get these ingrown hairs that cause these bumps, and it's always at the back of the head. But you can't tell our people nothing. They'll have this and still want you to trim their head up close to the skin, like they ain't learned their lesson, man. But this only seems to happen to our people, or people that have melanin, right? Like the East Indians and stuff, Let me play it again. You want to see it. So lucky if you're eating your dinner while you're watching this, man. So put you well off. But yeah, pretty nasty stuff. But that's what happens to us whenever You know, and hey, he may have got treated or whatever. He may have quit shaving so close, whatever the case may be. But hey, that scarring is always going to be there, man, for being ignorant, basically, to the Lord's laws, right? When the Lord is trying to protect us, you know, we ain't supposed to be shaving our heads that close to the skin, man. That's ridiculous. But I got one more precept I'm going to pull out and I'm going to close this lesson out, right? In the book of Leviticus 18 and 1, it says, starting at 1, I'll read all this highlighted. It says, and Yahweh spoke unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel. There it goes again, man. It's always directed to us because that's who the Bible is for, man. It says, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am Yahweh your power. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, ye shall ye not do. So, you know, it was a custom of the Egyptians to, you know, put makeup on their face, to shave their beards. You know, they had all kinds of customs that, you know, we ain't supposed to do. They would edge their heads up and all that. And this is where we learned these customs, man. You know, we started doing after the way of the heathen when we were in Egyptian captivity. You know, basically worshiping their gods and stuff, man. So it says, after the doing of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, ye shall ye not do. It says, and after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do either. Pretty much in a nutshell, man. Don't follow after the ways of the heathen wherever we've been captive, man. And the scriptures say we are yet this day in our captivity. So wherever we've been scattered to, whether you're living in England, Germany, Russia, China, it don't matter. All right, don't be following after their customs, man. Keep your own ways. Keep the ways of your Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, in the lands that we've been scattered to, man. And in due time, the Lord will deliver us if we do what's pleasing in His sight, right? Clean up our ways, man. So it says, and after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. It says, ye shall do my judgments and keep mine ordinances to walk therein. I am Yahweh your power. Okay, so He's the Lord our God. We have our own God. We have our own customs. Okay, we don't need to be out here shaving our beards and stuff, man. For one, it looks ridiculous. For two, you get razor bumps, and for three, it's the law. All right, so Lord willing, you were edified by the short lesson. I'm going to close it out here. Give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakah Kodash. All right, Shalom, Yasha Allah.